Hello everyone and welcome to the video of the recap of 2024 and how I plan to develop my investments into 2025. For everyone that it's just new here and it's the first time that you see this type of video, this is a video where I basically go through my budget spreadsheet where I see all my income, all my expenses, all that I managed to save, how it's going my net worth, how it's going my savings rate, what were the biggest expenses. And thanks to this spreadsheet, I'm able to take decisions in the sense of what I could cut, where I should spend less, where I could spend more, and generally if I'm happy with how my finances are developing. We will also then dive into another spreadsheet, which is my investments portfolio spreadsheet, which basically expands one line that is in my budget spreadsheet. So in my budget spreadsheet, I do have a line for my investment portfolio, and that actually one a bit more than one, two or three lines for my investment portfolio, and that investment portfolio is then expanded into another spreadsheet where I actually see all the individual instruments that I have and where I can decide how to allocate the money for each type of instrument. So let's dive just right into the budget spreadsheet because I have a lot to cover in this video because we have, as I said, to go through the 2024 and then how I plan to develop 2025. Maybe I will split the video in two. I'm not sure. But yeah, if this video is too short, then it's been split in two. Okay, let's dive right into it. All right, so um, this is the main dashboard that I see. Here I can basically see the entire summary. I just showed the 2024 year and the total year. So this is not the month of December, fortunately, but it's the entire year. Um, okay, when it comes to income, I usually don't say much because I'm just employed and I'm an employee, so my income is pretty stable. I don't have much to add. We totaled basically 83,000 francs of income from employment. Um, but then actually interesting and partially scary is that we totaled 8,500 francs of investment gains. So these are both realized when it comes to investments, for example, but also unrealized. So every month in this spreadsheet, I rebalance my investments to keep the line regarding the investment portfolio always correct. But yeah, this is basically what I gained from my investments in the 2024, which is, as I said, a bit scary. We will see why when we go look into the investments portfolio spreadsheet. Then we have a little bit of other income, but it's not that much, so I will not cover it. What it's interesting is to see a little bit the expenses and especially compare them to what was the budget. Now, 2024 was the first full year, where I used this spreadsheet. Back in the days, I did not track my budget, so I did not have a budget where I studied and so on. I just tracked my expenses and I gave myself a monthly budget for everything. So I'm really not used to dividing my budget into singular categories. That's why you see here everything it's over 100%. One thing that me and my girlfriend are proud of is these groceries. So we are 84% of the budget, which is really good. Um, Even when we eat out, actually, we spend a lot because we are in Switzerland. If you make a meal at home, you spend more or less between 2 and 6 francs per meal, depending on what you cook. We are more on the 2 francs side because we don't eat red meat because It's basically expensive. We do eat it sometimes, but it's not our primary source of protein. And what we do eat is a little bit of chicken, but we do mainly eat vegetables, eggs, and so on, and those are pretty cheap. That means that at the end of the year we get to spend not that not a lot of money. As you may know, we do go in Germany to grocery shop, but that does not mean that we can eat a lot of meat, simply because we cannot transport a lot of meat into Switzerland. Otherwise, you go over what is the limit that you can bring in without paying taxes, and then you have to start paying a lot of taxes, which brings the cost to the meat, basically to the price of the meat in Switzerland. The price of the meat in Switzerland is crazy. Chicken breast is 12 francs a kilo, and that's the cheapest meat that you can find. I think red meat, so cow, basically uh, goes about 30 francs a kilo when it's low quality. It can go up to 90 francs a kilo. That's why we really we could afford it on a theoretical basis because we do physically have the money to buy it. But if we do want to follow our goals and actually meet our goals, we cannot afford it. That's just the way it is in Switzerland. Um, then, when we go to other expenses such as scooter and camper, here I think I already talked about this in the mid-year report review. Here you have a lot of things for the motorbike. That's why it's a lot. I will skip through some of these because I already talked about them in the mid-year review. Um, yeah, transportation, seems a lot, but simply, oh, sorry, it seems a lot, but simply because I bought the yearly subscription to the transportation system. That's also valid for this year. And since I do not do double accounting and I don't properly account for the things that I spend on when actually the expense occurs, I just accounted it in the last year. And then that's basically it. Uh, are we overall happy with how much we spent in comparison to how much we thought we would spend? I would say yes, because we only have about a 15% over. So it's really not that much. 8,000 francs, I know it's a lot. 8,000 francs, it's the cost for a new motorbike. So I know it's a lot, but we sat down, me and my girlfriend, of course, to talk about this spreadsheet. This is the reason why this spreadsheet is here. Doing the spreadsheet only for doing the spreadsheet would not be helpful at all. It would only bring me more things to do. So we talked about it, and we went through all of the expenses and all of the expenses that we went where we went over and decided if we were happy with the excess expense that we did or if we wanted to change something. At the end of the day, the only thing that we decided on actually changing is to be a little bit more smart when we do things for fun. For example, we went to a spa in Switzerland, and in that sense, we spent quite a lot of money. If you remember, we spent about 400 francs. We could have invested a little bit more time into looking into another option in Germany or in Italy or even in France, for example, which would have costed a lot less. So that's one thing that we want to get better at. So being a little bit smarter in that sense. When it comes to the savings rate, this line here is mine. And you can see here also an average. I'm pretty happy with it. You can see here that in the last period from August, more or less, it started to increase. Do not expect that this is going to be like that in the next year. It's not. The reason it's increasing is that I overestimated my taxes from August 2023 to December 2023. I was I knew that I was overestimating my taxes, but I did it anyways. And because of that, because I paid less taxes in these months, all of the money that I saved in those months, basically I took it out month per month by not saving into the taxes account that I have. Um, so that means that I had more money to save on my other accounts. The taxes account is not part of my savings. It is here, but when it comes to savings rate is not accounted for because this is not my money. I will have to give it to the government. So that's why you see that here. But starting in January, I have to go back to saving about 1,500 francs per month for my taxes. So that means that all of that money will not be, I will not be able to save it into other accounts that I account for into the savings rate. Okay, when it comes to the total net worth, here you can see my total net worth. And as you may see, it's, well, now it's January, that one, but if you go to December, it's 101,000, or you can also see it here, 101,022 francs with 32 cents. That means that by 1,000 francs, we officially surpassed the 100,000 mark, which is a very good, very nice, very exciting milestone for me because I did not think that I could. Really. I don't know if I mentioned it in one of my other reviews, but I think I said something to the lines of I would be happy if before my next birthday I will be able to get to 100K, but at the end of the day I managed to get it by 2024. That's a really awesome milestone. It's true that my investments helped a lot because if we take out my investments gains from that 101,000, we would be at about 91,500 francs. Yeah, which is a big, big difference. Um, but at the end of the day, next month I will be at 100K even without my investments. You will see then the update in March. Okay, there is not much more to say when it comes to my budget. I will not go over this part of the spreadsheet because first of all, this is only an estimate. Second of all, I don't look at it now because it doesn't make sense. So let's go right into my investments portfolio. And there we have to talk a little bit uh, about how it developed throughout 2024. So this is the summary page of the portfolio. You will find this spreadsheet in the description if you want to download it. You cannot find the spreadsheet about my budget because that spreadsheet has been built by copying a video that it's on YouTube. And the guy that made that video, it's an 8-hour long video explaining you how to build a spreadsheet. The guy that made the video is selling the spreadsheet template. So if you want that spreadsheet, you can either buy it from the person or you can copy it just like I did by watching the video for 8 hours. So in 2023, we closed the year with 61,000 francs. And then we started off with 8,600 francs immediately. Why? Simply because I get my 13th paycheck in end December, but as multiple times I already said, I account my paychecks at the start of the next month. That means that here you have 13th salary of 2023. Then in January 2025, I will have the 13th salary of 2024. That's why I said that in just 1 month, I will be able to surpass 100K even without my investments. And then exactly. We went down in February. This is due to, if we go back to the budget here, this is simply due to the fact that I was accounting wrongly for my taxes. No, I was not accounting wrongly. I was not saving for my taxes. So I decided to dump all my savings into February and from there take those taxes out of my net worth. That's why you see that minus 2,300. And then it went pretty well, I would say pretty stable, always between 2,000 and 3,000 francs. Except for this month, I don't remember what happened, but I should rewatch my reviews. Up to e- e- exactly up to October, where I started to not save anymore for the taxes, and all of those money that I was saving for the taxes went right into my normal savings. And then we closed the year with plus 40,000 francs and a 64% increase. Now, the 64% increase will not be the same next year, of course, because my net worth is much bigger, but I would like to get at least a 30% increase, which would mean a 30,000 francs more. It's gonna be a little bit harder. Why? Two topics. I would say, yes, two topics. One, we will move into another apartment in June 2025. That's already accounted into the budget. So if I go here, budget planning, this is the month where we are going to move. In June, we will pay double rent because we paid the rent for this house and the new house. In that month, we can move. And then rent increases to about 1,550 francs a month and then plus 50 francs just because. And that's one topic. Second topic is that I turned 25, and this year, 2025, I am 25 also for the health insurance, technically. That means that I have to pay a lot more in health insurance. As you can see here, health insurance is 432 francs. Last year was 240. That's about 200 francs a month more for my health insurance. So that's great. That's great. But that also means that it's going to be a little bit harder to save what I want to save. In addition to this, I should also mention that I received an increase in my paycheck of about 200 francs a month. This also brings an increase into my second pillar, and so on. That's why I say about, but about 200 francs a month. That means that it should cover at least the health insurance, but it does not cover the increase in rent. So my life is getting a little bit inflated, but it's everything under control. We talked about it with my girlfriend, especially about the apartment. I cannot talk about the health insurance because, well, that's how it is. I'm 25, and apparently I go to the doctor more often. I don't go to the doctor, but anyways, that's how it is. Um, so it's planned. It's okay. We will see. My goal is at least 30,000 francs. When it comes to the month in itself, the month of December, there is not much to say apart from the fact that I received my usual dividends. So I received about, what is it, 52 francs of dividends, excluding already withholding tax from the US, which needs to take the cut. You know, we need to give Uncle Sam its good old cut of the pie. But theoretically, that cut should come back to me, or better to say, to go back to the Uncle Olaf, let's say, to the Swiss government. But it's not on a practical level because I did not spend more than 100 francs in dividends. So if you, in withholding tax, sorry. If you want to get the withholding tax back in Switzerland, you need to spend more than 100 francs in withholding tax. Otherwise, they will not do the calculation, and yeah, they will not accept the form that you have to send them. Hey guys, just an interruption to tell you that at the end I decided to split this video in two. The first part is this one that you already seen, so I thank you so much for seeing this part where I talked about the 2024 year. The next part will be about the 2025 and what's my strategy for 2025. There we will also see an analysis that I wanted to do in order to make more efficient my portfolio. So really subscribe and stay tuned. Also, give a like to this video, give it a comment if you would like to tell me about your 2024, how your 2024 went, if you're happy about what you spent and what you spent on. And I will see you guys in the next video.